Who are you?
Um, I'm Luisa. I'm a daughter. I go to school. I work two jobs. I have friends and a living boyfriend.
Okay, okay. I guess how's life for you right now?
It's okay. I feel like right now with the situation that I'm in, I very much would like to get out of it.
Hmm.
I usually just try to distract myself a lot, go out a lot, pick up jobs, just do anything,
Yeah.
honestly.
What's the situation you are in?
So my mom had me young. So
Hmm.
I share literally like a room with her. Like it's literally like this big. I'm not even gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. And so I don't have a dad. We live with my auntie, my uncle. But lately, just like my auntie, my uncle have been like not really like cool with me. So
Hmm.
I try not to be at home. I have no privacy at home, so I literally just go anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay. I guess where is your dad?
So my dad a hoe. So
Okay.
yeah. So he got my mom pregnant when my mom was 19.
Hmm.
He knew about me and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back to Guatemala for like a month. I'll be back." Bro never came back. Had another kid with the family there. Named the daughter after my mom,
Hmm.
and then left that family. Came back to the USA and is now married to like a Venezuelan woman in like Florida. And he has
Uh-huh.
like kids with her. So I have like three step siblings that I've actually never met.
Damn. Okay. God damn. All right. I guess how was your childhood? How was it growing up, as just you and your mom?
It was okay. My auntie and my uncle had kids themselves.
Hmm.
Um, I get along with my sisters, my brothers. He a little weird. I don't really like him.
Hmm.
Um, and it was okay for the meanwhile. I didn't really see my mom a lot of times. She would work from like 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. So I'd be at school and then I'd come home already be asleep. And she was still pretty young, so she wanted to go party a lot of
Yeah.
times. So she would go hang out with her bosses and coworkers after work, come home like at 12, pick me up from my brother's room, and then take me downstairs. But I didn't really see her, so but it was okay.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate the sacrifices my mom made for me,
Hmm.
regardless. But I just wish she was there a little bit more. I wish she stepped her foot down a little bit more because she would also let like my uncle, my auntie, like kind of control me, and they were kind of like make me like an outsider of the family, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like if I didn't do something, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna raise the rent on your mom. Like just use money." And like
Hmm.
I've always been self conscious about my mom not having money because obviously she's working like a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So it was just like you guys are using like something like you know what I mean. Like it's just
Yeah.
made me very like self conscious and always made me feel like I wasn't a part of the family, honestly.
Hmm. How do you feel that you turned out when you didn't have your mom? You know what I mean? How did that affect you not having, both kind of a dad not in the life and
Mm-hmm.
then the mom still working a lot and barely seeing her?
Like I guess for me personally, it made me feel like I always had to like reach out to people, if that makes sense. Like I'd have to do drastic things to get people's attention,
Hmm.
which like, or I would just have to be like more of a bubbly outside person, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like it definitely made me realize the importance of like connections with people.
Hmm.
But honestly, like growing up, like being at home and stuff like that, it just felt like I was alone most of the time.
Yeah. I guess, do you miss your childhood?
Some aspects of it. Like I for sure miss like traveling. Like my mom, she would always save up money to make sure we can go on trips with my auntie, my uncle. I miss some of the things with my siblings because they were kind of assholes to me when I was younger. But like honestly, that's just like how siblings are. So I
Hmm.
can't really blame them too much for it. But I mean, it was okay. I think right now the situation I'm in definitely works a little bit better for my mental health, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
How was it growing up, having technology and then not having technology,
Yeah,
basically now?
honestly, for me, it's a little bit different because we've always had technology in my house. We'd
Hmm.
have like we'd play Wii together, but we got real serious in my house. So I'm talking about kids waking up at 7 a.m. to be the first player,
Yeah.
and we would be playing from 7 a.m. all the way until like 8.
Hmm.
Like we've always had like TVs, but I think when I got on like social media, I think that's where it kind of like was a disconnection because it was
Yeah.
like as a kid you're really impressionable and
Hmm.
seeing the things on social media I was easily influenced. I felt like a lot of my at the time like Instagram was like such a depressing place like back in like 2014.
Hmm.
Like I got social media when I was 8, so from there I was very impressionable to a lot of things that I should have been doing like,
Yeah.
and I think that's like the worst part of it. Like if it was a little bit more controlled it definitely would have been better, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Okay. I want to bring it back to your aunt and your uncle.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in a sense, do you dislike them for kind of having that control and using money against you to really have that control over you?
To an extent, yes, because it's just like a lot of times they'll continue that control over me like to this day, and I feel like a lot of it now that I'm older, I see a lot of it as disrespect because
Hmm.
I feel like me personally now that I've grown up to be such like a bubbly person or anything like that, I like don't like disrespect because I've never done anything to
Yeah.
like initiate it, but it's just a lot of times I just don't really try to talk to them. Like they'll try to like say stuff about me going to school, and I'm just like, I am going to school, and they're like, oh, but she's always leaving. Like I work like a really like weird schedule. I work so they're trying to initiate that I'm not going to school and that I'm doing all types of things, but in reality, I just don't like being home. So
Yeah.
I'm never trying to be home. So I always try to go to work and stuff like that. And they're saying that I'm faking going to school. I put myself in debt for buying a car and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
it's like small little irritation things that definitely is like I I see what you're saying about me like when I'm not around,
Yeah.
and it just does not cause me to like you or respect you.
In a sense, do you feel like you never had a home?
I like I would love to say that, but I've had really good memories in the house regardless. Like whenever my sister comes to visit from college, me and her are literally up late in the living room playing Roblox until like 3 in the morning. Like
Hmm.
I definitely feel like it's home, but it's just like not at the same time. Like
Not
it's
at
just
the same
definitely like it has to be moments for me to feel comfortable. But otherwise than that, it's just more of like I just sleep there. It's like a hotel.
time. Okay. Why don't you move out? Why don't you get an apartment now that you are older and are able to work and go to school and everything?
So, like I said, my mom doesn't date. She doesn't
Hmm.
have boyfriends. I'm her only daughter. Um, and it's just like every time I talk about moving out, it's usually like I think for myself,
Hmm.
especially because I'm starting to be older and I also want to go to like college. So, me moving out, if I get accepted, I'd have to move all the way. The thing is, she's very attached and she recognizes that she needed to be there more for me when I was younger. So
Hmm.
she's trying to make it up now, if that
No.
makes sense.
Okay.
So she's a little bit more attached, always saying like if I move out that she's going with me. If I buy a house with my husband, she's gonna move in with us, which
Hmm.
I understand because you don't have really have a husband. So it's just a little bit harder for me, like
Hmm.
emotionally, if that makes sense.
In a sense, are you happy that your mom is being more attached to you right now, or do you feel like she could have stepped up a little earlier
um,
beforehand?
I definitely feel like she could have stepped up a little bit more, like when I was younger.
Hmm.
I feel like now that I'm older, it's just more of I already learned the things I learned without you. Like I don't really need you like saying it over and over again,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Okay. What things did you enjoy from your childhood the most?
I think the food. I love the food.
The food.
Yes, like I loved coming home and my mom was cooking. I loved that she would like leave me food when before she would go to work or on her breaks she would leave me food. I think that was honestly the only time I really saw my mom was when
Hmm.
she was cooking. Um, but honestly, if not that, I would just say the time I spent with my mom, honestly. And it was very limited. Like I would go to her work like literally all the time, just sit behind the desk, wait for her, and then I would just like spending time with her there,
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay. What's a few things that stuck with you throughout your childhood?
Um, I mean, in a like I think a lot of it, like I like to focus. I have really like black and white thinking when it comes to like I don't know, like anything with my childhood. So
Hmm.
a lot of times the things that stick out are negative. Like I've had one of my ex boyfriends pass away that just sticks with me. I think also a lot like moments I should have been protected from something and I wasn't, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And then like a lot of times it's just feeling like I was alone, like they would ostracize me from the family. I feel like a lot of those moments stick out to me, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. It's not like one singular moment.
How did those moments change you? Of you feeling alone and everything. How did it shape you into you? What? Because some people would take it in a negative way and start harming themselves or
Mhm.
start hating others, stuff like that. What did you do to, I guess, cope with it?
Well, honestly, like I did used to harm myself, and I feel like that also has the effect of social media as
Hmm.
well. Like with how social media was, it definitely like influenced my brain a little bit more into the more like depressing stuff. But at the end of the day, I also realized like I said, connections are very important.
Yeah.
So to me, like knowing that I wasn't having a good childhood, I also knew like I've been aware since like self-aware when I was younger too. Like I understand other people aren't gonna have the best childhood either. But
Hmm.
why should I make that their problems by immediately being rude or just hating them off the bat, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I'd rather just always try to make sure that everybody in the conversation is included, or at least that everybody gets like talked to, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
I like that. I like how you change something negative into something positive. I do like that. Um, I guess how would your younger self see you today?
I feel like in a way she would be disappointed,
Hmm.
like, oh, like you guys are still stuck in the same situation. But at the same time, I feel like I didn't really have a lot of plans. Like I didn't really see myself still being here when I was 16. So I feel like she would be proud at least that I got over 18. Like I have like friends, like I go out, I bought a car. Like I feel like she'd be proud.
Hmm. I guess with the self harming, do you feel like social media boosted it a lot more?
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
like 100%. I feel like the time that I started self harming, like, um, is definitely like around that time that stupid ass 13 Reasons Why came out.
Hmm.
It was a bunch of kids self harming. And although I understand the message of it, I feel like it put the wrong ideas into a lot of people's heads,
Yeah.
especially like with the graphic scenes as well. Like, I feel like that definitely influenced a lot of people. Like, hey, like this is on TV. This is exactly what I'm going through. This is exactly how I feel. Maybe I should do this,
Yeah.
when in reality it's just like there are other ways to cope. Like
Hmm.
even if I realized that a little bit later, like I still should have like realized like there's more things to do than that.
Hmm. What's something that you would tell your younger self?
I think it would be more like just be more lenient on yourself and that your feelings are valid. I feel like growing up a lot of times like I would be just called like a baby, but I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of times like my feelings were valid, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's the most important thing I would tell myself is like your feelings are valid. You can feel the way you feel, just don't let it affect other people, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, or how you view things outside of that situation. Because a lot
Hmm.
of times, like I tell you, it'd be black and white for me. And when I get in those like negative mindsets, I feel like I'm always thinking about the worst of the whole situation when I could really just turn around and try to make it more positive.
Hmm. Okay. Would your younger self like where you are right now?
I feel like she'd be proud. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I just applied to image. Like I have my own. Like I have drive now, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. Because back then it was just more of like living to live. But now I feel like I have more drive and motivation on in a clearer picture of what I want to be, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Why didn't you have that drive when you were younger?
I feel like I didn't have the right group, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
or the right environment. Like I'm not gonna say like I had a bad like social life or anything when I was younger. I definitely had like good group of friends, but we're like kids. Like
Hmm.
nobody really knows anything other than like play, eating, and just talking and gossiping. So I feel like now that I'm older and I realize like, hey, like you gotta actually do something with your life and not be a bum. It's just like more of a like a if I want to do something with my life, like what do I want to come out of it? Like do I want to help other people? Especially with the career I'm in, I'm hoping to help other people and to reach people that feel like how I did, like unheard or feel like they're not valid in
Hmm.
any sort of way.
Okay. Are you happy with your current self?
I want to say yes, but I feel like a lot of times I'm just like, I see how other people my age are moving, and I'm like, I could be doing more with my life.
Hmm.
Although I don't try to compare myself to other people, it just definitely does happen regardless. Like I'll see a girl over here like having a Benz or something. I'm like, oh, I need that, like you
Yeah.
know. But it's just like a lot of times it's like I do end up comparing myself to people my age, and I feel like I should be doing more with my life.
Do you feel that social media kind of made you more like comparing yourself to other people, like way more than if you didn't have it or whatever like that?
For sure. I feel like for a while I was very obsessed with social media. I was literally like 13 doing shoutouts for shoutouts on Snapchat. I was posting every day on Instagram to gain more traction for followers. And I felt like at that point, it's just more of a I put my confidence on what social media does, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like what the social media say about me, then I would build how I view myself off of that, if that makes sense.
Why aren't you happy with where you are right now? You know, it's cool seeing other people have Benz or anything, but why aren't you happy with, the life you are living right now? You know, you have a house, you have a roof over your head, you have food on the table and everything. Why do you feel like you need more?
I feel like I definitely don't take those things for granted, for sure. I feel like a lot of times for me personally, it's just like my situation causes so much like I wouldn't say damage, but a lot of burden on my mental health, if that makes sense. So I feel like if I were to get into a better situation, I would be able to do more for myself. Yeah. That's why I'm not happy with my life. Like if I'm stuck in a negative an environment that I feel like I'm not really safe to be there or not even wanted, it definitely affects how I view the outlook of like life in general. So if I were just to be able to just do better for myself in general, it makes me do like better in life, if that makes sense.
What is holding you back from doing better?
I think a lot of times I struggle with change. Like I'll beg people to like continue being my friend. Like I do really bad with change. So I think a lot of times for me it's personally like how would I handle the situation? If I were to get what I wanted, how would I act? Like would I be grateful or would I just like honestly see it as another like setback if that makes sense? Like I don't know. A lot of times it's just I don't know. Like I don't know.
Do you not like change?
I struggle a lot with change. I feel like although it's great because change is growth, like regardless whether if it's negative or positive, it's a setback, you learn from it. If it's growth, like you're moving forward. I think a lot of it is just scary for me. Like how would I be in that situation? Like me personally, all I've known, like for a while I would let like how my mental health was affect who I was as a person. Like I'd be depressed, emo, like everything. So like I'd be scared of like who I'd become without all the burdens. Because not saying that it's like I'm used to carrying all the weight, if that makes sense. Like what happens after I'm calm, if that makes sense. Like will it go back to being like shitty? Or like will I continue to just keep going uphill?
Have you changed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely see a lot of times I do a lot of like old traits that I would love to get rid of. But I feel like overall, like I definitely do try to become a better my version of myself. Either like even going back to school was like a big decision for me. I did not want to go back to school, but even just educating, like continuing my education and continuing to strive for bigger things definitely shows growth in my personal, like in a personal aspect.
Is that fear holding you back to, I guess, becoming better when, having that change?
Yeah, I mean, like I do let the fear consume me a lot of times, especially with like just like even smaller aspects of my life. Like I think it's more of just I'm scared to see what happens when it's like finally, like I said, like when it's finally like I'm satisfied with my life. Like, will I lose my drive? Will I lose who I am as a person? Because genuinely, a lot of people like when they get over the hardships, they kind of look down on the people that can't get out of them. If that makes sense. Like, I'm also scared like if my attitude will change towards others. If I'm finally like content with my life, like will I be like a little like bougie? Like you know what I'm saying? Like would I look like down on other people? Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm easily influenced. So it's just like, what if I do end up like those people? Like, I hope not. Like,
Yeah.
God forbid. But it's just like at the same time, it is a possibility.
What do you live by? What are your rules for life?
Um, Always be nice. I love being nice to people. Honestly, it's the best way to get connections. I've gotten like so many opportunities, so many doors open for me because of simply just being very like cordial with people. Although it does get me in a lot of like issues with like conflicts between personals, like friend groups or anything like that. But at the same time, I feel like you don't really know what anybody's going through, and if you just being nice, like to people in general, can make them feel better, I'm always doing it. Like especially because I work in customer service. Like I love making those connections with people. I love making jokes with people, learning about them and who they are a little bit. So I just think it's fun, honestly. So I always go by just try being nice.
Try and be nice. I like that. What's the meaning of life to you right now?
I feel like a lot of times the meaning of life personally is more of just like experiencing. You know, I wouldn't say we have like a definite meaning, like how some people think, oh, my life is going to revolve around this job. Oh, my life is going to revolve around this person, this marriage, this friendship or anything like that. I feel like just being able to experience life and just take the good and the bad with it, I feel like it makes you a wiser person and a better person overall. So I feel like just living it is the best thing you can do with life because regardless, everybody dies. Like no matter what you do, like you could have a shitty life because you're so focused on one thing, or you can have a great life because you realize there's more than just like GR, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you could literally be in the mountains like climbing shit, and
Mhm.
that would fulfill you more than being at a worthless job, if that makes sense.
Do you have any regrets?
Um, a couple for sure. I feel like um with me, I think a lot of my regrets are not spending time with people. Like I mentioned, I did have like a boyfriend that passed away. I think I regretted not being able to help him out of the situation he was in, especially because not that I put him in the situation, but I helped him kind of like not lean towards it, but I did help him get a job. And when he was at that job, he met somebody, and that somebody ended up like kind of setting him up, and he lost his life. So it's just like a lot of times I regret like not being a little bit like closer to him and just being like more, I don't know, like
Hmm.
just putting him in better situations than he should have been.
Yeah. Do you blame yourself for that then?
Not fully, because at the end of the day, I also realized like throughout the grieving process that he was his own person. He made those decisions by himself, who he wanted to hang around, and then what he did. But a lot of times, it's just like I felt like I could have definitely like at least helped him through it,
Hmm.
kind of just like be there more for him, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
What was your lowest point in life?
Um, I would say I have two that really stick out with to me. Um, was after his death. That was definitely really hard for me because it kind of affected like my whole family. Like my sister was really close with him. Going to the funeral, like he was my first funeral I experienced. That was kind of just like kind of changed the perspective of me, especially because he was so young. So it was just like kind of be careful of who I like hang around and stuff like that. Changed my perspective of like how quick life actually ends and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And then I also feel like a second one was like I think like back in 2022 I had like attempted, and I feel like it really doesn't get lower than that, honestly. It's just like being so like tired all the time, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's just not like feeling the drive to continue anything.
What got you out of that hole? What got you, feeling back up on your feet and, running again?
Well, I definitely did get mental health help, and I definitely did go to a therapist. Helped me kind of realize like the habits that I'm so like into, like will ultimately help lead those decisions, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Like seeing negatively, feeling like bottling up my emotions, especially when I'm literally paying somebody to talk to me. Like I feel like that helped. And then after my mom found out about everything of that, she kind of like sat me down and like explained like how much that hurt her even hearing. So I feel like it definitely like helped me motivate myself. Like okay, I'm literally just like although it might be hurting me, it's a burden even more to do that to other people,
Hmm.
especially my family.
Why didn't you reach out to somebody? I mean, like your mom, one of your sisters, one of your aunts, maybe, why didn't you go out?
Um, honestly, so I think I had wrote, because back then I was really like kind of artistic, so I would like make poems about how I was feeling, and I think one time, the school counselor like it fell out of like my locker or something like that, and a teacher had picked it up, and she had told the school counselor told my mom, and I think what stopped me from like actually like going to my mom about anything after this was just more of a she kind of sent it into the family group chat, and then they were making a hashtag in the family group chat talking about some hashtag save Luisa. I'm like, oh, I'm like, thanks, guys. So it was just
Hmm.
kind of like I felt belittled about my feelings. I definitely would let my friends know. My friends were like, honestly, like a huge support system, even if I don't talk to half of them anymore. A lot of them were like really sweet when it came to the subject, always like listen to me. And like I said, my ex boyfriend, like the one that passed, he would literally text my sister if I was having any type of like suicidal thoughts so that she would come check on me
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So honestly, it was just, I would, I was always telling my friends, but we're kids, like if somebody
Hmm.
tells you to keep a secret, you're going to keep it a secret. So they never like went to an adult, if that makes sense.
Okay. Do you dislike the person you are right now?
No,
No.
no, I feel like I said, I have a lot of connections. I feel like every day I'm growing more into like the woman that I want to be. It's just I'm very self-aware of my flaws, so it's
Hmm.
more of like not dislike, but it's like more of things that I would like to change about myself.
what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of, like you said, woman do you want to be?
Um, I feel like I wanted to be respected, if that makes sense. Like, and respect others. I have a bad habit of like being disrespectful for sure, and that's one of my things that I want to change. But I want to be someone that's respected, um, and like just loving and kind. Like, I want
Hmm.
my friends to be able to come to me and just like open up to me, like, and just be like there for people, like how people were always there for me. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Have you ever hated yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really, when I was younger too, when I was also battling with my depression, um, I also was battling with self-esteem issues.
Hmm.
Like I said, I would act out to get attention. I would literally, bro, you saw that Snapchat screenshot. Like, like I was just doing stuff to be liked, and I think that came from a source of self-hatred of who I was.
Hmm.
Like, I would always try to mix in with whoever I was. Like, when I was younger, I'd mix in with the people in my middle school. When I got to high school, like before I got to high school, I barely knew Spanish, but being around so many Hispanics and wanting to immerse myself into that culture, although I am Hispanic, I didn't kind of grow up in the culture.
Hmm.
I was always trying to do things that other people would like. And I feel like now that I'm out of high school and I don't really talk to somebody and anybody in college, and I barely have any friends from high school, it's very much easier to be who I want to be. Like,
Hmm.
without any pressures of, oh, if I don't do this, this group isn't gonna like me. And I also dealt with a couple of like self body issues as well. And that definitely affected how I saw myself and made me feel like I hated myself a little bit more as well.
Why did you feel the need to be somebody who you weren't? You know what I mean?
I feel like I wasn't getting those connections at home.
Hmm.
So I was definitely trying to like do it with everybody else. Like growing up, like I was already friends with everybody in like my grade. I was always trying to make sure everybody was cool with me, like never trying to get into a lot of drama, but it definitely affected how I definitely like acted and viewed myself too, because I would be like, oh, I'm not doing what this person would do, or oh, I said something I shouldn't have said, or something that this person would never say. Like, I'll never be as good as this person, because I'd always compare myself to people that were like, or people that were like, I don't know, just popular, if that makes sense.
Hmm. What's one piece of advice that you would give to somebody that would be in the same situation as you, is, trying to, I guess, in a sense of being loved by everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time wasn't?
I feel like I would just tell somebody, like, honestly, like, although you might want to be liked, like, at the end of the day, these people aren't going to really talk to you in 5 to 10 years. Like, you really won't see these people ever again in your life after high school, middle school. Like, it's better just to be confident in who you are. If you like certain things, you like certain things. Like, don't ever try to change your personality just to fit in,
Hmm.
especially because although, like, you know how other people perceive other people that aren't similar to them, I feel like at the same time that's a great thing to not be the same as everybody else.
Yeah. When was the last time you were happy with yourself?
Probably when I bought my car. I was really happy about that. It was my first big girl purchase, although it's on a loan, but I feel like
Hmm.
that also teaches me responsibility. So doing that really did like excite me. It was something to look forward to. It was also like just something I could get actual privacy out of too, if
Hmm.
that makes sense.
And when was the last time you cried?
I think it had to be maybe like last month, maybe, or it was like less than a month ago. It was just because my grandpa had recently passed, and I was talking about him to my boyfriend, and I was just talking about the memories, and I don't really think I cried it out when he passed. So it was more of like a, I'm crying because I'm talking about him, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. Like, I don't really cry alone about it, because like I have to be strong for my mom, because that's her dad, and she felt it the most. Like, not being able to go back to Guatemala and having to watch like the burial on Facebook Live, like she definitely had it a little bit worse. So I'd always have to kind of like not push my feelings aside, but kind of just prioritize how she was feeling.
Why couldn't you validate your own feelings? Why couldn't you let it out?
I mean, like I said, I kind of based my self worth on other people a lot of
Hmm.
times. And like, I don't know, being put as an outsider in your own house, especially when like my mom's working all day, she doesn't have any time to like really defend me or teach me, like, or be there in general. I feel like it didn't give me a lot of role models to look up to. So the people that I did have around, like if they were like saying, "Oh, like you're an idiot," like I'd believe it. Like I would always let other people control how I felt about myself.
Mhm. Why did you let others control you?
I mean, like we're kids, like kids are so easily influenced, especially hearing it from adults or people that you're supposed to trust and look up to. It's kind of easier to believe, oh, like you're a bad kid, like you do bad stuff all the time, or like you don't know how to do stuff like that you should be doing, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So I feel like that itself was impressionable, and also like social media as well. Like I said, like ever since I've been young, I've been comparing myself to people on social media. Like I'd see like all these like 10-year-olds making YouTube channels. Like, you kind of just want to be like them. So you
Mhm.
let it influence the way you are. If you don't get any views, boom, like you're a loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just was definitely more of a like, I don't know, like I have to be other people's expectations of me. Like I have to reach them.
Do you still allow others to control you and kind of set their expectations onto you?
I feel like to an extent, yes. I definitely find myself a lot of times when I'm in intimate relationships with anybody, like regardless if they're friends or like actual relationship with a boyfriend, I base how my self worth is in that relationship, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. Like with friends, I'll make sure like if I can't be there, I feel like I'm automatically a bad friend. If I mess up with like a silly mistake, like oh I forgot to pay you $10, like I feel like I'm a horrible person.
Mhm.
So to an extent, yes, but also at the same time, I feel like with everything I've been through, I try to give myself a lot of grace about the person I am and the person I'm becoming.
Mhm. What are some struggles you're dealing with today?
Um, I feel like a lot of times it's my how I view things. I feel like I always find the negative in aspects that I could just take it more as like don't let it bother you, if that makes sense. But a lot of times in those negatives, like it definitely gets to me and it definitely like stresses me out.
Why do you look at things so negatively?
I don't know. Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of times it's more like I'm not that I'm nervous to see like I said, I just get stuck in a lot of black and white thinking.
Hmm.
So when I see it negatively, it's like everything about the situation, everything about my life has been negative. But like when I'm in a good mood, I'll be like, hey, you know what? Like I could have done it. But like I'll reflect on how I was acting in the situation, and I'll be like, bro, it was never that serious, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. But that's only after I get out of such like mindset. Like I have to be positive for me to see the positive, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
I guess how will you improve yourself? You know.
I feel like ooh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I feel like now I just have to be more lenient on myself. Like, although I have to keep myself in check, make sure I have self discipline, make sure I'm being respectful with everything that I do, like towards myself.
Hmm.
I feel like I would be able to understand where I'm coming from because, like, a lot of times I'm very rational with my thoughts. So if I'm just able to be like, hey, like, think about it more logically, I feel like that will definitely help me grow in more aspects and also being just like forgiving to those around me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what do you think you should enjoy more in this life?
Um, honestly, everything. Like breathing up is like breathing up. Waking up is a blessing. Breathing is a blessing. Being able to like walk, talk, hear, everything. Like I might take those things for granted a lot of times, but like even just driving in without getting in an accident, or even just like going into a building and not being shot up, like bro, like
Hmm.
those are all things that we should like be enjoying, like regardless, if that makes sense.
What's a few things that you'll miss in this life?
Um, I think my family,
Your family.
honestly. I love my family so much. Like they're although like I've had moments with like my auntie, my uncle, I still appreciate the people they were for me, like taking care of me, although it might have like had its up and down. Like they definitely like took care of me,
Hmm.
made sure that I was okay. And like even my extended family, like we've always had a fun time, like all that. Like I feel like just my family would be the thing that I miss the most. Because
Okay.
I feel like there's a repeat of everybody everywhere, honestly.
Hmm.
Like you could find Keith probably like down the street. Like honestly, like it's just like you'll always find a piece of somebody into somebody else.
Hmm. With that being said, do you feel like we're all connected? Yeah.
100%. I feel like what you think that nobody else has experienced, people definitely have experienced, felt the same way about you. Even if the like situation hasn't been exactly the same as what you went through,
Hmm.
like we all experience the same feelings. Like
Yeah.
you'll always find somebody being in a broken home. You'll find somebody not doing well in school. You'll find somebody struggling with their mental health. Like everybody's connected, and I feel like having sympathy for those people and seeing yourself in those other people is the best thing you could do for yourself in the perspective of like how you see the world in general. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people like, especially like how we are right now with like ICE shootings, killings, like all that stuff. I feel like we try to like make ourselves less connected, if that makes sense, when really we really all have the same emotions. We all have felt some type of pain. To be sympathetic towards people is the best thing you can do.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Do you believe in a higher power? In
Yeah,
God? Yeah.
yeah, I feel like growing up my parents were super religious, but I definitely have explored a lot of like like spiritual like practices and religion in general. I like learning about religion. That's one of my favorite things to do, honestly. And I feel like it opens up my mind to understand that everybody does believe in a God for a purpose, whether it's for comfort or for how you want to live your life. There's always a reason people want to believe. And honestly, having belief, like, although some people try to make it seem like a bad thing, like, oh, you really like believe somebody's like up there. At the same time, it's just like a lot of people find comfort in those religions.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, a lot of times, like, I understand there's like a piece of truth in everything, like in every religion, every spiritual thing. So to believe that there is somebody up is, it's common, you know, like it's common sense to me
Yeah.
personally.
Why do you believe in a higher power?
I feel like everything, like people be saying everything happens for a reason, but I swear everything does happen for a reason. Like you'll literally know somebody, or like I said, you'll go through the same things as somebody. And like honestly, even just looking at nature, like you'll sense like there's something like otherworldly that created like such a beautiful thing,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like even like the earth, like how like our gravitational pull and stuff like that, and how like perfectly like set apart we are from the sun so we don't burn or get too cold. Like I think, bro, like there's no way that's just like magically happened.
Yeah.
Like it definitely had like some type of creation to it.
Okay. How has that changed you? How has believing in a God changed you?
I feel like when I was a little bit more into my religion, it definitely helped me see a different perspective. I would definitely try to read a verse every day or at least a couple pages just so that I can get some type of comfort in it. And a lot of times, like I say, people go to turn to religion for comfort. Being able to speak to somebody that is higher than you and higher than everybody else is just like you're able to go to them and you'll be able to spill your heart out, if that makes, like during a prayer, like if you're praying about, like even when I was younger I would use prayers as a form of protection so the like monsters wouldn't get me, like you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, like it's just all a form of comfort. And I feel like that's what it is for me most of the time, like being like in a religion is more for, more personally for me, comfort than anything.
Okay. How do you think God thinks of you?
um I mean, it's common knowledge. Nobody's like as perfect as Jesus was. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
like a sinless man lived his life without sin. I feel like he expects for humans, like he said, he gave us free will. He expects for humans to have mistakes, have sins. I think the most important of it would be like making sure where your heart is at. I feel like he at least understands where I come from. Although, like when Judgment Day comes, like I might not be like top 100 people he's definitely letting into heaven, but it's just more of like a, I feel like he views me as like he understands where I'm coming from and he
Mm-hmm.
understands the situations that I was put in or the things that I do. So I feel like it'd be like a good and bad way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What does God want you to do with your life?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he definitely has a message for everybody. I think for me, a lot of times I feel like God is teaching me to be more respectful of those around me, to make sure that I know what I'm doing or think before I speak. Honestly, is a lot what I struggle with. I feel like he tries to like teach me that every day. Although I don't have a, like I said, I'm not really close with my religion. I don't have a clear picture of what he would want me to do, but I feel like a lot of times he constantly gives me blessings. So I feel like he's also telling me to enjoy the things that I have, um, making sure that I'm healthy and everything like that. I feel like he's definitely just trying to make sure that I enjoy and be grateful for the things that I do have.
Okay. Why do you think God should let you into heaven?
Um, Honestly, I'm no different than honestly maybe a homeless person.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there is like no reason to let me in, honestly. Like it's just more of like a, I feel like I don't even know how to explain it. Like there's not even a standard for what you can get into heaven for, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Like there's genuinely in the Bible, it's like repent for your sins before you die. And a lot of people will be on death row for like killing, raping people, and they'll still quote unquote get in heaven because they repent. But I feel like a lot of times it's just like where your heart is with your connection of God. I feel like me, since I'm not close to God, He won't recognize me when I enter His doors, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like I'll know of Him, but He won't know of me because there's no connection, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Okay. Hey guys, I just want to pause the video real quick and give a quick shout out to Burritos to Go. If you're hungry and craving some food, come to Burritos to Go. It's all homemade, they have fresh drinks, it's a 5-star restaurant. I'll have the restaurant in the description. Go check them out. Bringing it back just a little, you said that God would understand where, the situations you were put in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you put yourself in those situations with how you thought, how you maybe said things and stuff like that? Is because I've talked to somebody else and he told me he prayed for the life he'd lived and he regretted everything that he did, but he prayed for it. I guess, yeah, it's pretty much, did you put yourself in those situations instead of, you being put in the situation?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the thing with God is that He'll put you in like He'll put you in a situation, but how you react is what you deserve, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Like God will do His part, you just have to do your part and meet Him halfway. He can't be the one that gives you everything just because you want everything. You also
Yeah.
have to put the work in. So I feel like He quote unquote puts me in those positions, but how I react to them and how I even got there in the first place, like it could be like an event of bad decisions that I made that led me up to like a really horrible decision. So I feel like He tests us. He definitely gives us like He gives us a lot of grace,
Yeah.
and He purposely, not purposely tests us, but definitely does let us know like, hey, like you're being put in the same situation again. Like how are you going to react this time? And if you react the same, He sees that there's no growth. So He continuously kind of tries to teach you a lesson. That's how I see it
Mm-hmm.
personally.
No, I like how you say it. I like how you say it. What separates you from others?
I don't know. I feel like I'm always told that I'm very friendly. I feel like that kind of separates me a little bit, not in a like a super crazy way, but I feel like it's very noticeable, like how I act towards people or how I make friends with people. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I always try to be like out there so that people do like notice me. Like I've had people that add me on social media after like we hung out like once. I'll probably never hang out with them again, but they're always so nice, and I feel like me, like hopefully people are saying like, oh, Luisa's really nice, you know what I mean, like she's always outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that might set me apart a little bit, but other than that I struggle like everybody else. I
Yeah.
don't really have anything to be like, yo, like I have such like a big following, like definitely like I'm set apart because I do this and that for my community, or I give back to people or anything like that, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
How do you want to be remembered?
um I hopefully as a giver. I hope people, like not in like a like weird way, but I hope people are able to come to me and that I'm able to help them with like psychology and everything like that. I'm able to give people like good advice. I
Mm-hmm.
hope to help them, to guide them. I feel like my biggest thing is like being able to be somebody that people can come to when they need like advice
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't
Okay.
know.
What is struggle to you?
Struggle, I don't know. I feel like struggle is honestly like not being disciplined enough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times, like I said, people constantly put themselves in the same positions they were previously, and it's honestly just because they might not even have the self discipline to do better. Like they just see, like I told you, like I don't feel like a lot of people think the same way as like if they do better, how is it gonna really affect them? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I feel like a lot of people aren't disciplined enough to get what they actually want because they're scared of what they're actually wanting.
What is your dream?
I hope to just be a mom,
Your
have a
mom.
family. I hope to like Loki sounds fucked up, but I hope to be better than my mom. I
Mm-hmm.
hope to give my kids the stability of being in a house where they can feel heard, where they have parents. Hopefully, I will marry the right man and just be better, if that makes sense. I don't want like a big legacy to my name. There's always bad things that come with having a legacy, honestly. So I just hope that my goal in life is just to be a good mom. I don't have to be the best, but I just want to be better than what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm. Will you?
Hopefully, yes. Kids definitely get on my nerves a lot. I definitely had a job where I had to like take care of kids for the afternoon. Definitely got on my nerves a lot,
Yeah.
but I feel like hopefully, like I said, I'm just able to create a safe environment for my family and just be a good mom. Like I hope, like I won't say yes, but I feel like with my experiences, I know what I want my kids to achieve out of growing up, to be good people.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to leave an impact behind?
Um, I feel like this might just be my self worth, but I feel like I really won't, no matter how hard I try. I probably just won't leave
Mm-hmm.
a good impact. Like, and if I was to leave an impact, I feel like I said, just being kind and being remembered as like, I don't know, a good person. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the most impact thing I want. I don't want people from all around the world to know my name. Like, there's no point in that to me because literally we all die. I just want to be remembered as a good person.
Mm-hmm. Do you care about how others see you today?
Um, I think to an extent, yes. Like I said, I kind of just want to be remembered as a good person, and I feel like some people might have the wrong idea of me due to like past actions or me just not thinking before I speak. So a lot of people might have those negatives. So not that I care too much about it to the point where I'm like literally like begging to be seen as a better person, but
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely does affect how I view myself for the time being. Like I'll think like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm stupid, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I totally let it affect me, but I think it's just room to help me become a better person. 6, 7. Sorry.
What's the best advice you have or been told?
Um, I feel like a lot of things like this. Hmm, probably honestly has to be something along the lines of you probably won't remember this in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that helps me take the stress of a situation that it seems like it might define who I am, or like even like small things like me not being friends with somebody. I'll literally be like, I literally won't remember what happened in 5 years. Like I won't let it affect me that much. I feel like that helps me move on from the situation. Or like even with embarrassing moments, I'll literally it just makes sense to me. Like not everything is gonna be such a staple in my life to the point where it's going to affect me so badly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I take things like smaller things, so like I make it into a bigger deal than it has to be.
Yeah. Are you living or existing?
I feel like a mix of both at the moment. I definitely have things that I'm looking forward to that will help me like experience more life. I feel like living, like I said, is just about experience, about being able to do the things you actually want to do. But at the same time, I feel like with me being a younger kid, I don't have a support of a dad. My mom already pays a lot of bills as it is. I'm also just existing, just even like working and going to school. It's just more of a pathway than me actually living my life how I want to. It's a pathway to get to living my life how I want to, but it's right now it's just like I'm existing.
You're existing. Okay. Well, what's your biggest fear?
Um, honestly, I think losing my mom probably is my biggest fear. I don't really fear a lot of things because at the end of the day, if something happens, it's supposed to happen. Like, but losing my mom would be one of the biggest. Like, I think that'd be detrimental. Like, I would literally
Mm-hmm.
be crying on the floor every single day, and I feel like that comes with her just being like such an amazing woman to me, and being like the only honestly like living parent to me. Like my other parent, like I don't talk to him. He's basically just non-existent.
Yeah.
But seeing after like how my mom treated me growing up, making sure she sacrificed the things she wanted to do, I feel like losing her would be like what I'm scared of the most.
What is death to you?
Well, I feel like regardless though, your spirit does go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like they be saying, energy doesn't really create or it doesn't really die off. So I feel like it's definitely like death is a continuation of life to an extent. Your spirit will definitely be somewhere, not sure where, but it'll definitely reach somewhere. And I feel like that is just a stepping point to get over that.
Mhm. Have you ever outgrown somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times the people that I used to talk to in middle school aren't people that I would love to um, make a connection with anymore. Like I see how they end up. Half of them are literally like, I don't know, bro. Like I just wouldn't like. You're so disrespectful to the people around you. You really don't care about other people. I feel like things like that definitely helped me see like I've grown as a person, or else I would have definitely been like them. And I feel like being like that is just not how I want to live my life anymore. I don't want to live my life gossiping or talking bad about people. I feel like it's just not me anymore. Like I'll
Yeah.
gossip for sure, but to like randomly talk bad about people, like just random people on the street, I feel like that's just not even anything to be proud of, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay. What's a few things that you gotta let go of to move on forward?
My fear of change for sure. I feel like that's the number one thing holding me back. And my lack of discipline. I feel like I have to continuously like push myself. Like I'm so lazy. Like whether it's with me doing homework, whether it's me eating, going to work, like I'll be late to work if I like want to. Like I genuinely could just go earlier, but I feel like laziness is definitely holding me back.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a lot of things that people struggle with is like self discipline, like I said. So I don't know.
What's stuck with you throughout your whole life?
Um, I think just others in general, if that makes sense. Kind of like seeing how other people act or just like making the connections that I have. I feel like that's the most influential thing that has like been with me. Like especially like growing up around so many cultures, it definitely opened my eyes to see like how other people might react in this like situation, if that makes sense.
Mhm. What's the most impactful moment in your life?
Um, that's a crazy question. I actually don't know.
No.
No, I don't think there's a moment that I haven't had repeated, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Like, I don't think I really have one, honestly.
Okay. What do you think people should enjoy more in this life?
Mm, definitely just like quality time.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people will go out, especially like teenagers will go out a lot of time, not really talk to like their actual friends. Like they'll just go out to drink and they're just like having fun, but you don't really know the people that you are with, or like even just spending time with your family in general.
Hmm. Is there any mistakes you regret taking?
No. I feel like all mistakes definitely have helped shape me into the person I am.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think I regret it. I just wish that I would have done something a little bit different about it. Like at the end of the day, I understand it helped me grow, but I feel like a lot of times it's just like I've been through the same mistake over and over again. Like I definitely could have changed something up.
Yeah. What makes somebody unique?
Um, I feel like just being yourself, like whether it's how you portray yourself to others, sense of style, hair, clothing, like everything. But I also feel like it's also how you carry yourself. Like a lot of people can be unique by, oh, like I like this certain show. Like you'll always think of that person when you see anything from that show, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Like although it might be unique to you, I like I said, I feel like everybody has a piece of everybody in like in themselves. So regardless, there's no like unique, but it definitely comes down to your sense of style and like who you surround yourself with, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
The life you're living right now, the result of your choices or your fears?
I feel like it's my fears. I've definitely had a couple of choices that I could have taken, but due to me like kind of being nervous or just kind of scared of how people would perceive me, I feel like that definitely impacted how I acted a lot
Hmm.
of times.
What would you do if you weren't afraid?
I feel like if I weren't afraid, I would definitely just take more time and like consideration, if that makes sense, into what I was doing. I feel like a lot of times I'll just pick what I'm comfortable with because it's what I know. When a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, like you said, you like taking risks, you like being able to like, whether it's good or bad, you like taking it both. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's my biggest fear is like losing everything I have, you know? Like, especially when not that I don't have so little, but especially when I suffered so much with the things I do have. So I feel like I'd probably make my decisions a little bit better, consider like the options for it if I'm able to and stuff like
Okay. What expression of yourself do you wish more people saw?
that. I don't know. I feel like I'm very open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Um, I feel like people that know me like also know like how I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open. What you think? Do you think I'm open?
I think so.
Good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's something that you love that you wouldn't recommend to others?
Weed. Oh,
Mm.
I love weed. But it's literally just so bad. I literally got a med card for that shit too. Like it's just it's horrible because at the end of the day, I know I can function without it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's literally just an expense at this point. But it's just more of like a I've already been doing this shit since I was like 16.
Yeah.
So it's just like, bro, continue doing it, bro. Like, but at the same time, I really wouldn't want people to be on it all the time. Like I've seen how people struggle. Like they'll be like, bro, weed doesn't affect me, but they can't go to sleep without it. They can't eat without it. And it honestly, it's just like it's just another expense in like actual terms. Like it's just another expense. It doesn't really do anything for you. Um, and a lot of people might say it does, but there's other ways to cope.
Yeah. I guess will you let it go? Will you let weed go?
Well, I'm hoping that I get to that point where I'm just like I don't need any type of like anything like vapes, weed, like carts, any of that. But I feel like right now it's just more of like a I don't even know. I don't know why I don't let go, honestly. I feel like it's I hate to say it, bro, I'm an addict. I'm an
Uh,
addict. I need help.
Damn. Um, should social media be banned?
I feel like it should be monitored.
Monitored?
I feel like a lot of things come out of social media. I've had a lot of good connections. Like literally, I have an online friend. His name's CJ. I've already met him like once before, and he's like literally paying for half my ticket to go to California so that we hang out. And then I've also like had interactions with like photographers like that are so nice to me like throughout because I boosted like their stuff on social media
Mm-hmm.
that they are able to give me back like things for my sessions or even just like things people can do for me if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Although that sounds really selfish, it does help build a lot of connections. But at the same time, I also feel like with the younger generation, like I said, kids are so impressionable that it would be best for them to moderate, like just monitor how they're like what they're actually doing. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've seen girls and like with personal experience, like literally get hit on by like 20-year-old men at like 12, and like some girls literally go missing over that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like they take that influence and they're like, oh, this man really loves me, and like they end up missing. So
Yeah.
it's just like I feel like if you're using social media in the right positive way, like how you're using it to get people's voices out there, that's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of people have malicious intent with the media.
Okay. Should porn be banned?
Oh my,
Less. You know what I mean?
oh my gosh, porn is so horrible. Like, Lord, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I did have like a little porn addiction that was like so horrible. I was like in sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is a fucking 12-year-old doing with that shit? I feel like it's really bad and it gives horrible expectations on what you think sex is gonna be when it's definitely not like that at all. I feel like I don't know, and it's like used maliciously half the time, like revenge porn, or like even on the deep web, you'll find like people are so sick enough to search up like is it called smut? What is it called?
I don't even know. I'm gonna be
It's like
honest.
this. I don't even know. It's called the snuff. Oh, a snuff film. Like people will literally like these are people that get human trafficked and they get put in a snuff film
Uh-huh.
and they basically get raped on film and they get killed on film and it gets uploaded to the internet and people buy it. Like I feel like porn just fucking corrupts how you see like even like day to day interactions. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people like relate interactions with like a teacher back to like fucking teacher porn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it definitely corrupts the way you think. I feel like it definitely should be banned a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Um,
Like, it could be the most innocent thing, like, but I just don't think it's good at all.
what do you think of this world?
Oh, we're so worldly, we're so lustful, we're so greedy. Like, honestly, like, a lot of times it's just like, I feel like everybody's so divided up, especially like in the current climate we have, like politically too. Like,
Mhm.
like not to be on some Jaden Smith shit, but like honestly, the political, like how people act towards each other due to different views, different cultures. I feel like it's just horrible. Like, and social media influences that too, especially if you're looking at the wrong sources. It definitely adds fuel to fire too.
Do you think this world will get better?
Um, I feel like no, we're like so greedy. I'm so sorry. Like, we're so greedy. I feel like a lot of places aren't gonna try to do something until it's too late. Like, have you heard of like the global warming timer?
No.
So there's like a timer that says like how many years we have left until global warming is irreversible. Like, we can't do
Hmm.
any damage control. And like every day we're getting closer to it, and it's just like nobody wants to do anything about it, because if they do change anything about it, they lose money. And I feel like that goes for a lot of like economic like statuses of like countries, if that makes sense. A lot of people won't do what's best for the earth or for the country due to how much money it's making the elites.
Hmm.
So in short, no, the world won't get better.
No.
Sorry.
Do you think this is the last generation, just as the Bible said, is the last generation will ask for a miracle, but there will be no miracle that will happen? Do you believe that?
100%. I look at the younger generations and they're like low key, like, no, like, no. Like, I literally remember being a senior in high school and these freshmen didn't even know how to read at a ninth grade reading level. Like, I've seen a lot of people also just like younger generations just not care about like basic common decency or even respect for others in general,
Hmm.
and even respect for God. Like, I don't see any of them having a lot of respect for those things, and I feel like that's also going to lead into a whole bunch of other things, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
What do you think this world needs?
mm, I don't I don't even know. I feel like a lot of it is personal growth for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people have to be very empathetic to others to understand where others are coming from and move accordingly to
Hmm.
that. You know, like, of course, not a lot of people are going to be like, oh, like, I feel for you 24/7. A lot of people are going to paint other people as bad people, which is understandable, especially if your situation or your experience with them was negative. But at the same time, I feel like we put ourselves against other people so much that we don't see like how really connected everybody is.
Yeah. Will you make a change, or will you sit just like I guess everyone else is?
I feel like I definitely talk a lot about I don't know what I want out of this world, like whether it's like my own personal life or like politically. But I don't really think a lot of times I'll be able to. Like, a lot of people say like you're young so your voice matters, but a lot of times it's definitely not like that. We definitely have to follow what a lot of people, like older people, come up with, and we have to follow and stick with that, even if
Hmm.
that's not beneficial to anybody in the younger generation, if that makes sense.
Okay. What's a few things that you think the world should notice more?
um I feel like I feel like notice more about like each other or like about the world in general.
I guess with both.
I feel like they should notice how their actions definitely affect other people.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people are selfish in a way that the world revolves around them. They don't kind of see other people's point of views. I feel like that's the most thing people like, the energy they put into the world
Yeah.
is definitely what people should notice, because I feel like a lot of times people just do stuff because, oh, it's not even going to hurt me, but it definitely ends up hurting or affecting the people around them,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Are you who you truly say you are?
um I hope so. um like, I would say like the way I act is definitely a reflection of who I am. Whether I make a stupid ass joke and I'm just not thinking, like stuff like that, I definitely am who I say I am. But at the same time, I hope I'm not. Like, I
Hmm.
hope I'm not such a person where like I can get irritable really fast, or I hope I'm not a person that's like a villain in somebody's stories. Like I want to grow from that.
Yeah.
Like I hope I'm nice and kind, but I also understand that also comes with me being selfish at times or just being rude in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Would you rather be addicted to cocaine and homeless for the rest of your life, or be on your period for the rest of your life?
Mm, I feel like I'm being on my period.
Be on your period.
I don't have anything against homeless people, but I feel like when you're in such a bad addiction, especially as bad as fucking cocaine, like you definitely can't control your urges. I could
Mm-hmm.
end up overdosing. A
Yeah.
period, all I have to wear is a fucking diaper 24/7 and I'm chilling.
Yeah.
But fucking homeless and cocaine, like that's probably the worst situation you could fucking be in. And it's not even like you don't even want to get better. It's just addiction with cocaine is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, addiction with cocaine is so strong, bro. Like there's like a fucking like 90% relapse rate.
Uh-huh.
And especially how the world views you when you're a coke addict, it comes with a lot of stigma that is horrible for how you are in general, and it just makes you not want to get help.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather shit yourself? It's diarrhea, all right? It's like it's coming
It's
down your
like
leg.
wet.
It's wet in front of your man, or get bitch slapped by a 4-year-old girl in front of your man.
I feel like I would be able to forgive a 4-year-old. I would not be able to forgive myself for not shitting like
Mm-hmm.
in a
Oh,
restroom.
you get knocked out.
I get knocked
Yeah,
out.
you get knocked out by the 4-year-old.
Fuck, strong ass 4-year-old. Who is this? What the fuck? No, low key the 4-year-old.
The
Like
4-year-old.
that's like less embarrassing to me, honestly. You don't think so? Like imagine like you talking to fine shit, bro. All of a sudden, all you hear is some wet ass fart come out. All of a sudden, you check your drawers, bro. You smelling like a fucking 3-year-old that just had a blowout. Like you will now be known as the stinky, poopy kid,
But like, I just got knocked out by a 4-year-old. It's like,
dude.
damn. I think I would go for the 4-year-old
You
instead.
see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, why would I want to be known as a stinky kid? Like, please, like, no, thank you.